Today's Toolbox Talk is on building a safe future through documentation. The goal is today to kind of help emphasize the importance of paperwork, not just from a safety perspective, but from a business perspective as well. Let's start with the Toolbox Talk attendance records for examples. The document where you sign your name and the date, a presenter, the subject, all that kind of thing. It basically proves that you were present for the safety meeting. Why does that matter? Because OSHA requires proof of us as the employer informing the employees of hazards. During an inspection, with OSHA, typically one of the first things that they like to ask for is proof of training, proof of safety meetings, those types of things. And without signatures, without names and dates, we could definitely face immediate fines for failing to follow those safety protocols. The legal value for documentation is this. If an incident occurs, these records, these documents, prove that you were warned about specific risks. It establishes that the company did fulfill its duty to inform you as the employee, and that is a primary defense against lawsuits that focus on negligence. As it relates to the initial training records, when a new hire starts with us on Friday, they spend most of that day with HR, with safety, and doing the initial training. The initial training records is a permanent file that shows that you received orientation and specific training before you started work. On the regulatory side, the value of these documents tells us that we are not willful in negligence where we would get a willful violation. Sometimes in many jurisdictions, a willful violation could be upwards to $150,000 in civil penalties. Regulations mandate that no employee operates any kind of equipment, enters a specific site without the right kind of training. On the legal side, its value. These records, these documents, are the foundation of due diligence. They prove that we as a company took every reasonable precaution to ensure that you were made aware of the risks, that you were trained, and without them, the company is automatically liable for any type of injury, regardless of who is at fault. Here is a photo of Category 5 mold. This document can be used as well as what is not documented. That can be also used. So, for example, we go into a customer's house, they have this mold issue, we're taking photos of the before, but we don't have photos of the after, or we don't have photos of the employees wearing the personal protective equipment that's been issued. That too can be used against you. Photos of job sites are so important because it's a visual document that explains what the conditions, what the hazards, and the work progress that was taken, whether it was that day or for the entire week. It matters. On the regulatory side, photos prove as an objective evidence of compliance. Compliance with housekeeping, compliance with hazard control standards. These photos, these documents validate that inspections actually occurred. specifically for trenching, the pre, mid, and post excavation reports, the overnight dig report. It helps to validate that these were actually done with conditions that were safe at the time we were working there. For the legal value of these types of reports in litigation, photos serve as undeniable evidence. They freeze time. It shows exactly what a hazard looks like or didn't look like before an incident. On the restoration side, there was one particular job a couple of years ago where we were doing mitigation in a basement, and the supervisor of that job took pictures outside of the house. 6 months later, we were doing an excavation on the exterior of the house, and the customer made a complaint that we damaged the corner of the exterior of the front of the house. The excavation team failed to take photos, but 6 months prior, when restoration was there, they took exterior photos of that customer's house, and that saved us from litigation. You see, these photos, these reports, they prevent the he said, she said type of scenarios that protects our companies from false claims. Our memory fades. Our digital photos don't. There is the double-sidedness of documentation. Documentation isn't just a shield, it's a permanent record of your personal and professional conduct. Completed forms, completed contracts, completed photos, and reports, they act as a mirror. They can either reflect a highly competent, safety-conscious professional, or they can expose a pattern of negligence. You see, this is what documentation can look like as an evidence of negligence. Missing reports, falsifying reports, or sloppy documentation can be as damning evidence against you in investigations, in lawsuits, and in employment hearings. On the positive side, when forms are completed accurately and consistently, they serve as irrefutable evidence of your competence and your due diligence. You see, documentation, whether it's in the form of a photo, a report, it's not red tape. It's a legal shield. Attendance proves communications. Training records prove competency. Photos prove conditions. And reports prove responsiveness. These documents, these photos, are how we build a safe future through documentation. Paperwork and the pictures that you complete or take, they paint a picture of you. My phone number is on the bottom right-hand corner if you have a question about this Toolbox Talk or any others in the past, or you have an idea of a future one. Don't hesitate to reach out. Be safe out there.